This feels good.
This does feel good.
We are in similar outfits.
We really are. We're very Romeo and Michelle.
Well, we have the gold and silver because I wear this gold and you have the silver belt.
Sure do.
And then we have our cheetah leopard.
Come on.
And our dark pants. Actually, we are twins.
We sure are. It felt right, too. I also got these fuzzy socks.
Yeah, you got to wear the socks.
So good.
I think that's so great. And we are in my lovely Life in Bold studios.
I can't stand it, actually. It's so fucking cute. Did you make this?
I did paint this
you made it!
Yeah, I painted this.
Oh, my God. What made you choose these colors?
Because it's the same colors as the Life in Bold logo.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, I know. I'm a marketing guy.
This is awesome.
You know what I mean? And that's my album.
Yeah.
Tinsel Jacket Live.
God,
this
you're
is
so
Rosie
cool.
O'Donnell.
Love Rosie O'Donnell.
Do you all remember this doll?
Of course. I don't know. Not the doll.
Yeah.
Explain to me the doll.
So this was like a toy that she had as Rosie O'Donnell in the 90s.
Sure.
And my mom had one.
Uh-huh.
And I loved it because when you click the hand or something, this one doesn't work because I haven't put batteries in my Rosie O'Donnell.
Sure. Listen, the batteries are for other things.
It used to say, "You're a cutie patootie." And I would push it, and I just always loved this. And then a couple of months ago, I was watching all these Rosie clips on YouTube, and I was like, you know what? Like, Rosie was a big part of my childhood, and like actually a part of why it was just a connection to like queerness, and like even though I maybe didn't know what it meant, it was just I just knew, you know.
Of course.
And I watch her now on TikTok. I'm a big Rosie fan.
I love Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah.
First of all, I remember when I was in elementary school, because she had a big thing. Remember Wonder Balls?
No. Oh,
Wonder Balls.
Yes.
Yes, Wonder Balls. The chocolate ball with the candy inside.
Yes.
Rosie O'Donnell's obsessed with Wonder Balls. And I just remember one of our assignments was we had to write her a letter about how much we loved Wonder Balls.
Shut up. Everybody had to write one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone in the 5th grade was writing letters to Rosie O'Donnell about their love for Wonder Balls.
Wow.
Yeah, because we wanted to be on the show. We were never on the show, Rosie, but it's okay.
And you grew up in She grew up in Did you grow up in Long Island?
I grew up on Long Island, yeah.
She did also, right?
Sure. We have a very similar accent. Mine's a little like, there's a little more Fran Drescher to mine. But
did she grow up on Long Island?
She grew up in Queens.
Oh, Queens.
Which I guess is technically Long Island, but we won't get into that shit.
I love it. Well, I'm excited to have you on. Steven Zakari is here.
Thank you so much.
That's you.
That's me.
Usually I say that to the camera,
That's
but I just
okay.
wanted you to know that Steven Zakari is
Listen,
here.
I'm excited that Steven Zakari is here.
I watched some podcasts that you've done in the past.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I have watched some of your stand-up, and I just know you in real life because I've been on some of your shows. You've been on some of things shows, and like we've done shows together and everything. And you are so funny.
Thank you.
You're a funny comedian.
Thank you. So are you.
Well,
You're also a magnificent host.
A host.
Yes.
Oh, when we did,
Yes, Sean and Nicole's show.
Sean and Nicole's show.
And you hosted it. You were so just so effortless.
Effortless.
You were very effortless.
You know what it is I didn't put any effort in. So that's why it was effortless.
No, but it was so good. You were just so naturally funny.
I will tell you a story that when I was in my senior year of high school, I hosted an orientation for the freshmen. I was the student body president in my senior year of high school.
Yes.
And so we had like all the freshmen came before school started. And I had seen the drama teacher host something at like a rally at our school. And he did this thing where, you know, like everybody's on the bleachers and he runs. And as he passes you have to scream, you know, and like make a lot of noise. And I was like just really inspired by that. And I just kind of like was so on. And like my senior year of high school, I was so like into myself and was so confident and everything.
That's amazing.
And so I hosted this like thing, and I just like basically was the warm-up comic and like just like got everybody excited. And I went to my teacher after like to give her back the microphone, and she was like, I just want you to know, like, I've never seen anybody, child, teen, or adult, with that kind of stage presence.
I love
and
that.
she was it just really like, you know, when people tell you things as a kid, like that's part of your identity now.
100%.
And so I just do identify as someone with good stage presence.
You have it. And you certainly have it. I think that's so cool though. Were you out in high school?
No. But I wasn't out, but I was certainly myself. You know what I mean?
That's amazing.
Like I was like definitely denying the gay allegations.
Yeah.
But I was definitely also like fighting for the school to have circus as the homecoming theme because of the Britney Spears Circus album. How I was obsessed.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
See, like that's fucking awesome.
It's funny because like my friends knew that I was gay. They've since told me that they were like, yeah, we always knew.
Sure.
But yeah, I just kind of didn't. It didn't connect for me.
Yeah.
But I would tell my friends like, "Oh, I'm like your gay friend who's not actually gay."
That's what you would say.
I would say, I would like, we go love shopping. Like,
Got it.
I love Britney Spears and Miley Cyrus, but like, I'm not actually gay.
Do you know what I used to do?
What?
I used to take a Britney Spears CD, but I would like in my because CD players back in the day.
Yeah.
But I would put a Blink 182 CD on top of the
that's
Britney
straight.
Spears. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
and I would
Blink
put it on
182
top
is
of
very
it.
straight. Yeah.
Because you could see the spinning of the Blink CD, but you don't know.
Would you actually put it into the machine that way?
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
I would put the
wow.
Britney Spears CD and then on top of it put the Blink 182 CD.
You know, but I really did like Blink 182.
Me too.
So
Me too.
you know, but
Me
it's one time in high school we had to, you know, did you have like silent reading where you would go to the library and
Sure.
like get a book and then like well, you know what silent reading is.
Sure.
You know how reading works.
Get
but
out
we
of
would be
town.
like in the class reading, and there was a book by Meg Cabot who wrote Princess Diaries. But it wasn't Princess Diaries, it was called Teen Idol.
Okay.
Nobody knows about this book, but it was in my school library and it was called Teen Idol. The cover was pink with a yellow like marquee style star, and it said Teen Idol, and I would carry it around school. And like I was like, this book is amazing, you guys. Like this is like amazing. And it was about like it was about a male teen like pop star, like actor, like a Disney star kind of person, and he had to go to a high school undercover to like research his next movie as a high school student.
Yeah.
First of all, that's the best premise of a book.
That's a cool
of
fucking book.
any like try like Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones.
Honestly, I'm here for
Wait,
Game of
what's
Thrones.
Game of Thrones? Did
I'm
we just
here for
create a
Game
new,
of
new series?
Honestly,
I would rather watch Game of Thrones than Game of Thrones.
I would love nothing more than to watch Game of Thrones. I'll tell you what. It's
Wait, that is the craziest thing that I just said. But Game of Thrones, I was going to say Game of Thrones, eat your heart out. But now that's the tagline for my new reality show, Game of Thrones. Eat your heart out.
Honestly?
Yeah. Sometimes the best branding just happens by mistake.
I love that.
Yeah.
You got to pitch that to Daddy TV.
I got to. Okay, so but this show is about you because
please.
You know what I love to do is start the show with 7 minutes of just talking about myself. But
Sure.
I do love your comedy. I love your
Thank
voice.
you.
I love your
Thank you.
just your originality and your I like to have people on who are bold, and like what I find bold about you is you really fucking stand in who you are.
Oh, thank you.
You really do. And
Thank
like
you.
you know yourself, you're self-aware, you're coming up there and you're like, I've lived here, I've done this, I've done that. I love this pop star, I love that pop star. And you're just like, this is fucking who I am.
Yeah.
And I think it's great.
Thank you.
Have you always been that way?
No.
No.
So well, that's not true. I was like that. That's very true. But I didn't come out of the closet until I was 26.
How old are you now?
How old am I? 34.
34. Okay. Yeah. I'm 32.
Yeah. So like I came out.
26.
Yeah.
So what was it like? I want to know because I came out when I was 19. And
Amazing.
I was like, you know, there were a lot of reasons why I came out, but one time I was watching Chelsea Lately, and some celebrity came out when he was like 60, and she was like, why would you come out when you're 60? You got to come out when you're like 18, like when you're like hot and fresh and like whatever. That's what she said. That's not what I said.
Right.
And she was like, and it really stuck with me, and I was like, I really cannot wait till I'm 60 to like come out.
Yeah.
And I ended up coming out. I had a hard time, like, to be clear, like, it was a big struggle for me to come out, but like, I did come out at 19, and the second I did, I was like, oh, I did it. I didn't wait till I was 60, and neither did you, but like, what was it like as a young adult in the world? Like, where were you living? Who were your friends like what were you doing?
Before I came out?
Yeah.
Well, before I came out, I was living in New York, and, you know, I had a pretty good friend group, and, you know, everything was pretty good, except, unfortunately, I guess, you know, they didn't understand the struggles of what I was really going through.
Right.
So a lot of times I'd get made fun of for being gay. They tried. I'm not friends with these people anymore.
Yeah. I get made fun of for being gay by my friends that are currently I'm friends with.
Same.
Yeah.
But like these people were doing it out of like it was like a sabotage sort of situation. And
but
really,
you weren't out to them.
No, I wasn't out to anybody.
Yeah.
And I was in such a sad place.
Yeah.
Even in high school, like I mean, I had a good time in high school. Like I had some friends, but like I had a girlfriend.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I had a beard. Like,
right.
Still talked to her, went to her wedding. Hello.
Yeah, that's nice.
But like, and it's, but like I was just very.
That was in your 20s?
That was my teens and in my early 20s, right? But then what happened was I wanted to get the hell away. I wanted to go away.
Yeah.
Like just out of New York. I just
You were
wanted
like,
to
I
figure my
can't
shit
be
out.
in New York City anymore. I got to come out.
That's what I'm screaming. So like what happened was, so check this out.
Yeah.
So you were mentioning Britney Spears before. So I know every gay has a diva.
You have quite a diva.
My diva's name is BoA.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I love BoA.
And you have.
Love her so much.
Yeah.
She is a K-pop star. She's why K-pop's huge. You can look this up. I'm not just saying this.
You're
I'm being
not.
biased.
That's what you're screaming.
I'm screaming it.
Yeah.
I love her so much. She broke into Japan, China, all these places. She speaks all these languages. She's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah.
But when I was 18 years old.
Wait, what's the best song? If someone wants to check her out, what's their entry point? You know, like I love asking that because like there's so many people that I have different entry points into.
Yeah.
I'm like Chapel Roan, her Tiny Desk concert. That got me into it.
Love her. Love
and like
Chapel.
other people, it's like maybe it's a song or an interview or something. So like what is the thing that if someone's trying to check her out, you're trying to spread the gospel of BoA? Like what do they have to check out?
Ooh, that's so hard. Oh, that's so hard.
Because you've loved her for how long? Ever?
Oh God, 25 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
She debuted when she was 12. She's 37 now.
Oh my God.
I love her so much. Oh God. Oh, honestly, her latest Japanese song, it
Okay.
really is. It's called The Greatest.
Okay.
And it really is about just like living your life and
Okay,
like
living your life in bold.
literally. That's exactly what it's
Yeah,
about.
okay.
And it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Okay, so what's it called?
The Greatest.
The Greatest. Go check that out.
Oh, it's so good.
It's-
I love it.
I'm
But-
really excited.
But so in 2008, BoA had a contest with MTV.
Yeah.
Who's BoA's biggest American fan? And I fucking won.
Okay, so tell me what the contest was, because I love 2008 MTV.
Come on. It was
Yeah.
and it was on TRL.
Yeah.
It was in Times Square.
Yeah.
They just asked her, like, what makes you BoA's biggest American fan? I wrote like a 20-page essay.
Do you have it?
I bet, you know what? I
You gotta
probably
find
do.
it. It's
I
in a hard
probably
drive.
do. I do need to find it.
You need to go. That should be on. You should do that on stage. Read
I
the
really
letter.
should. I really should.
Yeah, you should do a whole show for her because you love her. I've heard
I
you on
love
many
her.
podcasts
I
talking about her.
do. I
And
love
like,
her.
I think you need to do a BoA show.
I would love nothing
invite her.
more. I would love nothing more. I love
should
her
do it.
so much.
Yeah.
She makes me so happy.
Yeah.
And also, just really cool side note, another thing, if you really want to get into it, there's an interview with her. It's just so freaking cool.
Yeah.
She goes from Japanese to Korean to
that's
Chinese
cool.
to English, like no big deal.
That's crazy.
So fierce.
Yeah.
But so I won this contest,
Yeah.
right? And we get to TRL. I'm like ugly crying. And like, you know, we're hugging. I speak like broken Japanese and Korean to her because I was
Yeah.
trying to learn.
Right.
And she spoke broken English to me. It was so freaking cool. Taught her how to use eBay. Now that's really telling
That's
of what that
2008.
era. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
But
And-
after that,
yeah.
well, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Well, I was gonna say you were so 2008 and she was so 2000.
Were you at one of those shows that I did?
No. What do you
Okay.
mean? Oh, like tell me.
Okay, so just because you said it, okay,
Yeah.
it's Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm so 3000. That's
Yeah,
right.
3000
I'm so
and late.
3008. You're so
2000
2000
and
and
late.
late. That's my favorite lyric of all time.
it's like, well, you know what I used to do?
What?
You might have done an earlier show when I had those shows at the House of Wax.
Yeah.
I used to do this thing with all the comics, like if you can fit this line into your
Yes.
yeah,
And
and
did
it
you
was
do
always
that?
a Black Eyed Peas lyric. it was
so
always a
funny.
wacky black. They
Yeah.
always have wacky lyrics.
Those were funny when you did that.
Yeah, they were good times.
That's like always everybody's biggest laugh when they figure out how to put it in.
Yeah, and the audience loves it when you get it.
Yeah,
they're like,
right.
yeah, it's like my favorite thing.
Yeah.
But yeah. So okay, back to the contest. After that whole day and like I hung out with BoA, she performed. It was like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
I quit school, worked a bunch of jobs, bought
How
a
old were
one-way.
you?
I was 18,
Okay.
19.
Yeah.
I bought a one-way to Tokyo,
Yeah, and you moved
and I moved there.
because you were inspired by me by that contest.
Yeah,
and
well,
her.
just by BoA in general. I
Yeah.
was like, damn, like
And oh my god, and how long did you and were you out
years.
then?
You know, okay, so
You were
in
on
Japan,
MTV Ugly Crying. Were
I
you out?
sure was. I was not out.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I was.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
anyone could see, like, that's.
Yeah,
That's a homosexual.
That's a homosexual on
100%,
TRL
like,
and
just-
on MTV.
It was wild. I was just, like,
Yeah.
mouth breathing, looking at her and
Yes.
crying. It was so crazy.
Oh my god.
But yeah.
That's
and then,
good.
Yeah, and then in Japan, I mean, I was, like, out-ish. but
Were you
not
having any
really.
relationships or anything, or like
I would, like.
dating or anything? Just
So,
like
well, there's this place in Japan. It's now, like, because now gay marriage is legal there. It's
Yeah.
like, it was different when I moved there.
yeah. Well, that was even was that like 2009? Like
Yeah.
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 So that wasn't even. I mean, gay marriage wasn't even legal here.
Literally.
across the country.
Literally. And
Yeah.
still in the, like, they were, like, okay with it, but there were a lot of signs that said, like, you know, no boy on boy shit.
Yeah.
Like, you know, but it was interesting.
I should
like,
put one of those signs
you
on my
should.
door.
You should.
No boy on boy shit in this apartment.
There's a place in Japan called Nichome,
Okay.
which is like basically like almost like a Hell's Kitchen
Okay,
of
yeah.
Tokyo. But it was so like hush hush back then, so I used to go there
Cool.
and just like make out with
have
boys.
fun.
Yeah.
That's great. And so then did you come out in Japan or did you come back?
No. I can't.
came back
I
and moved to LA?
When I moved to LA, I finally.
You said, I'm in Los Angeles.
I'm in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And I was like, Ma, I'm gay. I called her. I was so scared to tell my mother.
I know.
And she was like, Steven, you would cancel plans to watch Dance Moms.
Yeah.
We're aware.
I know. You know what's funny? I feel like everybody says that about their moms. That like
Totally.
when they came out, their mom was like, My mom was like, are you sure?
Are you serious? Are you serious?
She said that. She was like, are you sure? Like, because
Are you sure?
the way I came out was I was in college, 19.
Yeah.
I sent my parents a letter in the USPS mail because I just didn't want to do it face to face. And I told them, text me
Like
first.
after.
Text me your reaction. And then if it's good, we'll talk on the phone.
Got it.
And
wow.
Which is very organized coming out.
Very organized coming out.
So she texted me and she was busy that day. Like,
yeah.
And my mom is very supportive and like very like I knew she would be like a good gay mom.
Sure.
So I wasn't worried, but like my mom's also a career woman. And she's a junior high technology teacher, but she also like writes a bunch of like grants and like gets money and funding for the school, and she teaches other teachers how to use technology and stuff like that. So she was a teacher, and she's like a huge career woman, like my whole childhood. So the day that she got the letter, she just happened to like be in a lot of meetings and be very like busy.
Sure.
And so she her initial reaction was kind of funny to me, at least looking back. Like she was just like living her life, and like her son like sends her a letter that says, hey, I'm gay. And it was like a very detailed like, and at the time I'll say like I was very like, I hated the idea of me being gay meaning anything. Yeah. I was like, so it doesn't define me.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't mean anything, like whatever. And I would tell people that, like I would tell gay people that, like, I'm gay, but it doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean, yeah.
And they'd be like, what are you talking about? And, and now here I am, like 12 years later, like just like basically being like, it does define me. It means everything. You know what I mean? But like,
yeah, but that's what happens, right? Like when you grow up in like an environment where it's like, oh fuck, like I can't, like
brainwashed.
And like it becomes like, because that's why I think it took me so long to come out. It's because you have all this internal homophobia that you didn't even know you had.
I know.
You know what I mean? Or you think that it's like, yeah, it's horrible.
And so when you came out, what did you do? I mean, like when you came out, what did you do?
I sucked as many dicks and cocks as I could.
How did you come out in general? Did you do anything online, or did you just start telling people?
I think the thing I did, instead of just like, because like first of all, I was like, I wanted to come out to my mother, sure.
Did you come out to her first?
Yes.
Okay.
But then after I came out to her, like I texted my brother and my sister, and like, but I was like, I don't have to make a grand. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because now I'm like, I'm just gonna start living
everybody
like who I am.
Everybody just told you that. Yeah. Your mom just told you that everybody knows.
Literally, she's like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like it's all good. But like also, it's like I don't think I have to make this grand announcement. I think if I just start living how I. Yeah. Want to live. Yeah. How I should be.
You know what game show I want to start?
Yeah. Tell me.
Okay, so you know how there's all these shows? This is a great idea. I'm standing behind it.
I'm already here for it.
There's all these shows where you can go back in your life and redo something.
Yes.
You know, like there's the show on Netflix where you can kind of redo your wedding. I don't remember what it's called, but it's like Jeremiah Brent and there's like the three gay hosts, and they take people who like regret their wedding or didn't have the budget for their wedding or like whatever, and they redo their weddings.
Okay.
I think I want to host a show where I help people redo their coming out.
Yeah.
And
you should really do this.
I really have just come up with this idea.
Yeah.
And I think it would be really funny because I would love to redo my coming out. Like, I don't regret it or anything, but it's just so, as organized as it was, I do want a big show. You know, like I want a flash mob or like a big YouTube video or like some big announcement, rather that's not so covered in shame, you know? And like, I would love, I guess that I do that at my shows all the time when I wear fishnets and circus outfits.
Well,
I
was going to say, the way that you are in general, just like, you know, in person, online, like you are so like,
here I am.
Here I am, and you're never going to shut me up.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah. And I think, I don't know. I think it would be fun. I think that's actually a very good show.
I think that's amazing.
For me to like, and maybe it would just be like, even we would talk about it and then we would go do it. Like that would be the show. On MTV.
It's got to be MTV.
What would it be called? Coming out? Like, coming out again? Like, the reborn again homosexual.
That whole thing.
Yeah,
that whole thing. That whole title.
Come again. Yeah, exactly.
No, I love that.
Coming out with a U.
I love that.
That
No,
could be good.
that's a very good idea.
It's a good idea.
I will say, what did I want to say though? I wanted to go back to something really
Yes.
quick. It is crazy though. Like I love that the younger and younger, like kids are just like they're coming out. And it does make me so happy.
I know.
It's just like I don't know. Well, now we're in different times.
Yes.
But like I remember thinking like I think maybe this is just my experience. I'm
Yeah.
like, were we like the last generation to be afraid to come out?
You know what I think, that kids still are afraid to come out.
I think it just depends on your environment.
It depends
right?
on the environment. There's a lot of homophobia. There's a lot in the media around trans rights and like drag queens and gay stuff. It really is. I actually feel that yes, a lot of kids are coming out earlier, and I also feel that there's still massive homophobia and massive a misunderstanding on what it means to come out when you're 12 or 14 or whatever.
Yeah.
And I actually think it's a myth.
Yeah.
That like everybody's just coming out and it's all okay.
You know, you're absolutely right.
Don't
you know
you think?
what? I actually do think that. Because can I tell you something that just recently happened to me in the comedy world?
Yeah.
We're going to get into this right now.
Yeah.
We're going to get into this right now. So there's something I have noticed when okay, so I've been away from New York for a very long time.
Yeah.
I've been like 15 freaking years. I mean, I would visit, whatever. I moved back last year, and I was like, all right, I want to jump right into these comedy clubs.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So we're performing in the comedy clubs. The amount of homophobia in comedy clubs in New York City is so insane to me.
Yeah.
It actually blows my mind. I'm like, this is the biggest melting pot.
I know.
What are we doing here?
No.
What is going
well,
on?
and part of the problem is like it's just comedy attracts, like it kind of attracts everybody, but it does attract the most like small-minded people sometimes.
But I can't even believe it.
I know.
Okay, there's a comedy club.
Yeah.
Okay, that I once had a show at. And long story short, I was barking outside the club, as you do when you wanna, you know. And the owner said to me, "If you're gonna bark in front of my club, I need you to be less gay."
Yeah. Yeah. And you said, okay, well,
I said next time I won't have. No, I said next time I won't have the penis in my mouth.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you want from me? But I was just like, what the fuck? Like, I mean, what year is this?
I know. I actually think it's a really interesting conversation because I had somebody on my podcast like a year ago or 2 years ago. She was 18. She's a poet. Amazing poet.
Yeah.
This is before I started focusing on like comedians and like, but she's a performer. So
absolutely.
And she was talking about how like she's 18. She just got out of high school, and that they just got out of high school, and they were talking about how they experienced so much homophobia, so much just general like non-binary hate and like all of that. And like I was just like, you know what, like I'm gonna change my perspective that it's not just simple for people to come out. I mean, fucking Donald Trump is the president. He just released all of these new policies, you know, undoing everything and creating all these friction and everything like that. And like I just think that like I remember when I was in high school, I was in California in 2008 when Prop 8 was being discussed and voted on, and I was 16. So the thing is, like, I was at school and I didn't know I was gay, but I kind of knew something was up. And so did everybody else.
Right.
But then everybody had like an opinion. Right. At school, like all these 16-year-olds were like, yeah, I can kind of see both sides. Like, I don't think gay people should get married, but maybe they can have something like marriage. Right. That's a different word. Or like people would be like, well, gay people are different. It's just a different thing. It's not marriage. It's whatever. And like, as a kid, that really affected me. You know, like that really like hearing people talk about legislation around the rights of me, like without any consideration for the fact that like I might be affected by these laws or whatever. Now it's funny because I'm like, why was I worried about gay marriage? I don't even date. I don't even go out on. I'm not even on Hinge. Like, what was I worried about marriage? Now I'm worried like about walking down the streets in fishnets and getting beat up.
Well, that's for sure. But
it's
like,
funny because like I just feel like now we have fucking like Rudy Giuliani talking about all of this, you know, gay stuff, and it's like, what does he know?
But it's like, but it's also weird, like the things like you'll hear, right? Like, like okay, not every Long Islander's like this, but there's a majority of them. Okay, that they
There's
act
areas.
like this. Yeah, like there was this one time. Okay, I heard someone, they were talking about how one of their coworkers got married. And,
Yeah.
right, and they're like, they're getting married, and they wanted to see the ring, but they were nervous to ask. And I was like, why are you nervous to ask about the ring? Everyone likes to show off their ring.
Yeah.
They were like, because they're lesbians.
Yeah.
Now, what the fuck does that mean?
Right.
What does that mean?
What in that person's head is he assuming?
I said to her, I was like, "What do you think the rings are up there, clam?
Yeah.
Like, what do you think is gonna happen?
Yeah,
Like,
right.
You're gonna ask, they're gonna pull it out and show you. Which, by the way, if they did, that's
Yeah,
good manners.
right.
You look at that ring.
Right.
But like,
exactly.
what the fuck is that?
I think people just don't understand and they're scared and they're just it's so different to them because it's not in their world.
Yeah.
But it's like, I think the majority of people don't have like 10 gay friends.
It's wild.
You know what I mean? They don't even have, a lot of people don't even have one.
Yeah.
A lot of people have all these opinions about trans people. They don't even know one
trans person.
Like, you know what I mean? And like, I just think that
Period.
I just think that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Okay, I don't know. I want to talk to you about this idea of like that strikes me so much about you.
Oh God.
Of just being centered in who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And really it seems that there's a level of like awareness that like 99% of people don't have. Like I really feel that way. And like I think that I think maybe partially like coming out later and like kind of like spending all that time with just yourself and like all of that, like I bet there's a lot there that's like that's been a journey to helping you get there. Does that resonate?
Well, when you say like that you're do you mean like self-aware or just like aware of what's going on, like in general, like in a room, would you say?
I think you know who you are.
100%.
Yeah.
I am undeniably myself.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? And it's because like for so long I've lived like a double life, which for some of us have, we've all experienced that.
Hannah Montana.
Literally. Oh God, imagine. I wish I was Hannah Montana.
I know,
her
that'd
outfits.
be the best. I know.
I had none of her
You got the
looks.
belt.
That's all I got. And
Yeah.
it's like ripped up on the back. It's not so good. But like at this point, it's like no one's going to tell me shit about me. Like I know exactly who I am.
Yeah.
I'm going to like, I know what I like. I know what I love. I know what I hate. This is who I am. No one's ever going to tell me differently.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And more people like, and that's the other thing going into like this fucking horrible presidency. It's like now more than ever. You know what I mean? It just
Exactly.
You have to be you.
Did you have a moment with Donald Trump being president where you were like, am I gonna keep going on stage?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
I did. Well, first of all, when it all went down, which was what a horrible night that was. It like I was like it almost felt like I felt guilty even like talking about performing.
I know.
Did you get that feeling? I felt guilty. Like I guess what I mean is like I felt
like
guilty
promoting shows.
Yeah,
and,
like I'm like
talking about yourself.
Yeah. I was like I'm just like fuck. Like it just I felt But at the same time, on the flip of it all, it's like no. You do this.
Yeah.
Because one of the gifts you have, Steven, is you can crack people up.
Yeah.
And that's what we need right now. For
right.
the love of fuck, we need that now.
I think that is the cracking up, and then also just like as queer comedians, like the representation and like, the fact that we're putting voices into the world. Like not all gay people do that or queer people do that.
Yeah.
Like, and not everybody has to, but like some of the best artists are queer people. And I think that, like I wrote a song about JD Vance. It's called The Monster.
I'm already here for it.
And it's just all about this. I wrote it from a Halloween show.
Yeah.
And it's all about this monster that goes around America and creates awkward moments.
Mm-hmm.
And
love that. Does he wear eyeliner?
Yeah. I say there's a line about there's a line that says he used to hate the big orange man, but like a creepy crawly spider, he spun a web of lies out of Maybelline eyeliner.
That's so good. How long does it take you to write a song?
Those best songs, 10 seconds. Like
Get out of
no,
town.
I wrote I wrote that song very quickly. I was like boom 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 boom, donut shop, Philly cheesesteak, like all these weird moments that he's had in the campaign, and I just wrote it. And some of those are the best songs that it takes 10 minutes.
That's amazing.
And like the other thing, like a couple nights ago, I stayed up all night. I wrote a song for like 6 hours. And like from like midnight to 6 a.m. I was writing this song because I kept rewriting it and rewriting it. It sucks. Like, it
That's
sucks.
yeah, I get what you mean though. I guess yeah, when they're like the quicker songs, it's like almost effortless.
Yeah, Taylor Swift talks about it. Like, she talks about how like the biggest hits like that she ever has, and like her favorite songs that she ever writes, like it just whoop comes out, and it's like feels like you didn't work for it. It feels like you didn't try, and like I really identify with that for myself.
Yeah.
I also do try to like go and like do drafts and like rewrite things and add in more jokes and stuff like that. But like the best songs I've ever had, like Ginger Ale Boys. Actually, that's not true. I wrote that song a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it. And then I was on the plane. Basically, the story of the song is that I was on an airplane in the middle seat between two manly dudes. And I was flying from Tennessee to New York, and so I called them like cowboys and stuff like that. And like I had delayed checking into my flight, so I had a middle seat. I had a bad seat, and I ended up between these two guys, and I was like, man, like we don't have anything in common. Like these two guys and me are just two different people walking in the world. And then the drink cart came, and we all ordered ginger ale. And I was like, wow, like maybe there's just some peace on earth, you know, like maybe we all have something in common after all.
I love that. I love that, like you take like you just like like you're making observational comedy, but like turning it into song. Yeah. Like that is so fucking cool that you do that.
Like and like that. But when I finally got it, because I was on the plane again, in the middle seat between two manly dudes, and I was like, I was kind of thinking again about the song, and when the drink person came, the guy ordered ginger ale. The aisle guy ordered ginger ale, and I was like, is this about to happen again? Like, and I was just so and so then I ordered ginger ale for the plot, you know, and then the next guy ordered like a whiskey neat or something. Like, he was like, I'll just get whiskey. And I was like, okay, well, you kind of ruined this.
Yeah, you should.
But then I was sitting in the middle seat, and I was like, I'm going to try to rewrite this song. And I wrote the lyrics, and like, it just came out.
Yeah.
And it was good.
What I like about, so what's interesting about what you're saying is like, I always feel like in stand-up, like, minus a guitar, like it's interesting because it's like I feel like a lot of times jokes have to marinate. So it's like, I might have written this like 2 years ago, but like, now it really
hits.
And like maybe that's kind of
because you were ahead of your time.
Well, you know what I'm saying? But like, you know what I mean? Like, it's almost like, the cadence is better now. Or like it works now. It's
or like
is that the same thing, like for you, like
sometimes
with some certain songs, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, and it's also better when I perform the song a few times, because then I know the laughs, I know where to pause, I know where to emphasize. Because like I'll write a song, and until I sing it in front of, even if it's just 5 people, like I don't always know if it's funny. I'll call my friend Marno, she lives in LA, and I'll call her and sing it to her, and she's like, that is so good, and I'm like, okay, that means it's good, but is it like gonna crack people up? And I think about, now I'm thinking more about like the brand of the song too, and like kind of the outfits, and like the how it all works together in the show, and like all of that. And yeah, it's fun to think about, but I basically did the Ginger Ale Boys song for the very first time ever at my Halloween show at Stonewall, and every single person who came up to me after was like, Ginger Ale Boys is so
I love
good.
that.
And so I was like, I just got to get it out there.
When is
and
it
I
out?
put it out this Friday. Oh, it's going to be out on the 15th.
The 15th.
The 15th, which is already out. So if
it's
you're watching
out.
this, it's on Spotify, and you could go to laughwithben.com and see the. I mean, I'll tell you, I made a website page for the song. And it says Ginger Ale Boys is finally here. Welcome to the ultimate Ben Haas fan experience.
I love that.
And then I have a lyric video. I have a quiz about the song. I have the lyrics. I have links to the songs, and then I have a raffle because I made merch.
Wow!
I made merch.
I love this.
So
what kind of merch?
I have an ornament, a Christmas ornament.
Oh my god!
I have a luggage tag.
Oh, I love.
And I have, what's the other thing? A luggage tag. Oh, a sticker.
I'm so pleased.
So
I'm so pleased.
I'm trying to make it, like when I'm trying to make people care,
Yeah,
like
no, that's the hardest part, right?
I know.
That's the hardest part. Like, I don't care what anybody says. You can have 100,000 followers.
Yeah.
Like, to get people to, like,
I know.
Truly, like, I understand completely.
It's kind of interesting.
Amazing.
I think my goal with the merch is not to make $1 million selling merch of my Ginger Ale Boys song.
Sure.
But I kind of want people to look at it and be like, what the fuck?
100%.
He has merch for this. Like, he's going all balls to the wall. Like, maybe I should go balls to the wall. Like, I think that one thing that I've learned in one thing that I've learned in comedy, but I think I learned it elsewhere in life, is that if you put in like a ton, I learned it like party planning, you know, like if you put in a ton of effort to something and like you show people that you came here to like play, they will give it back to you.
You're inspiring me right now.
Am I?
You sure are.
You gonna make merch?
Let me well, 100%. Yeah. But like, you know, there was this project I've been teetering on for a little while, right? And I thought it was like a silly idea, but like I think it could be funny. And
is it as silly as coming out again?
Well, okay, so I wanted to make a Christmas album.
Oh yeah, with stand up.
Yes, however, it was gonna be like each track was like a lovely instrumental of a holiday song. I love how I'm just giving out the idea, but here a lovely instrumental and just me complaining over it.
That's fantastic.
I just thought that would be lovely. Yeah. And I don't know, you're kind of inspiring me.
Well,
to
let's
just,
let's work it out. Let's work it out. Okay,
like the 12 Uggs of Christmas.
And would it be like that's funny?
Yeah,
the 12 Uggs of Christmas.
Like
you know, would they be Christmas themed rants?
I think so, or like
just like about the whole year.
It might just be holiday specific.
And audio only.
I think audio, maybe visual. Why not? I mean, I don't know if I'll have time for visual, but I could try.
Well, you know who I'm really inspired by with Christmas?
Tell me.
Matt Rogers. Do you know him?
Matt Rogers, sure.
Matt Rogers is
his holiday show, didn't
he? The Prince of Christmas.
Yeah.
He started 7 years ago, I think, maybe even more, at the Duplex doing a show for Christmas. I'm sure it was like 1 or 2 shows. And then the next year, it was bigger, and then the next year is bigger, and then like 2 years ago, he filmed it at Joe's Pub for like a special on Showtime, and like that was fantastic. Like, and then last year he put it out as an audio album, and every single year he elevates it.
That's amazing.
And more and more.
That's
and he
amazing.
goes on tour. Yeah. And I think it's a big portion of his income for the year is going on his Christmas tour. He does like 10 or 12 dates or something. And he just goes to New York and San Francisco and wherever. And like he does a fantastic Christmas show with like a band and it's music.
That's
and
awesome.
I really look up to that. I think it's like a really fantastic concept. Yeah. And I that's kind of why I was thinking like I want to do a Christmas album too.
Yeah.
That's what the songs I was writing a couple nights ago.
Yeah.
I actually wrote a couple of Christmas songs last year, and I actually think I am gonna put out a Christmas album.
Can we both put out Christmas albums?
Yeah, I think we should.
We really should.
I think we got to put out Christmas albums, or else what are we doing?
Yeah, what are we doing?
Especially like your Christmas album idea is so good. I really think it's good.
It's goofy.
So what would you do for the music? Would you like find instrumental royalty free?
I think either I would find royalty free, or I might, but I could just budget depending. Like I might even ask some of my friends like if they want to like
make some music
or cover or something.
Right.
But like I don't necessarily think I would sing anything. I think I'm just literally gonna talk right over. I mean, who knows?
Do you sing?
I do.
You would be a good singer.
I'd say I'm a tune carrier.
Yeah. I think you should sing.
Yeah.
Maybe you should open or close it with a big like Oh Holy Night or something.
That'd be fierce.
But also, like
I just want you to know this whole time, it might be on camera, I have a giant hole in my sock, so my toes have been coming out. So sorry about that.
Yeah, that's okay. People like toes.
That's true.
People love toes.
That's true.
That'll keep the engagement high.
It's true. Yeah. The feet community.
People are really into it.
Very supportive.
Okay, so would you have a song about feet?
What the hell? Why not? Actually,
the 12 toes of Christmas.
Yeah, maybe one of the songs has to be about feet because there was one point in my life.
5 golden toes.
But you understand? There was one point in my life where my feet paid for my apartment.
Really?
Back in LA, 100%.
Wow, good
but
for
then
you.
I turned 30, and then no one was interested. And
they're like young feet.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I was like 27 when I was giving out the feet, and then like I turned 30, and then they were like, no.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
I started lying about.
Well,
my
that's
age.
good to know. That's good to know that people aren't buying 30-year-old feet.
I know.
Wow.
Well, LA anyway. Maybe other places.
Right. Okay, but this Christmas album.
Yes.
You got to do it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do it.
And I love how when I said you got to do it, the tambourine went.
Tambourine.
I think that
I'm doing it.
I think this is something that is one of my qualities is when you talk to me, you're like, "Wait a second. I got to go do this."
I'm not kidding. You have like this, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But this situation, this aura, it's making me want to work so hard.
Really?
Yeah, it's very inspirational. You're very inspirational.
I think I am inspirational.
You are.
I made a brand guide for myself.
Let me tell you something. You do more than that, bitch. You do more than that. You like, I love that you have like the shows that you recommend. You like, you're such a community builder.
I am.
You really are.
With life and
I swear to God, it is
together.
So fucking awesome. Because let me tell you something. Back to what I said earlier about like the comedy clubs and how they're like so homophobic. The way you build community.
Are you gonna call me homophobic?
You are so fucking homophobic. No, but like it's the way you build community is so inspirational. Like I was just looking into like maybe like what is that, meetup.com?
Yeah, right.
They like there's a lot of queer comics that try to build community on there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
It's hard to do, but you got to it's you know, I find that the community I don't okay, here's the thing. I don't know that I've built the community, but I have definitely like nurtured the community that has come to me.
Yeah.
And like really invested. I remember, you know, Gilberto? So he was on the podcast, and like I met with him to get coffee. I was like, at one point, like a year ago, I messaged people and I was like, how do I be better at comedy? And some people were like, let's get coffee and talk about it.
Yeah.
And so we got coffee, and he was like, I think the biggest thing is like, you got to give back to the comedy community. Like you can't just like always be asking and like trying to get time and like never really giving back. And he was like, one thing you could do is like host an open mic. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I was like, I don't want to do. I know myself.
Get it. No,
I don't really like hosting in that way.
I understand.
And I don't want like a weekly thing going on. And like, I just felt like that's not for me. But I told him like, yeah, you have this podcast. Like, I want to have people on. And he was like, that's a great way to like give back, because you know everybody wants to be on a podcast. Everybody wants to tell their story, and like this podcast, Life in Bold specifically, is good because it's not like totally a comedy podcast. It is.
Well, but
it's like,
but you're just
we're talking about those deeper reasons that we do comedy.
Yeah.
And I think that I think it connects with people. I think that because I'll tell you the story of like my podcasting. When I was like 23, started a podcast called Dream Life with Ben.
Love it.
And it was just random comedy bits and like, you know, very like 23-year-old podcast. And then I had that for like 5 years, but I didn't do it weekly. I just kind of had it. And like every now and then I would do a podcast, and it would just be solo episodes.
Love.
Just me and my microphone. And I would do little commercials and sketches.
Love
like random shit. And then when I was in 2021, you know how I inspire people. At that time, I had this really successful Etsy business. I was selling mugs it was in the pandemic. I was selling like funny work-related mugs.
Oh, I love.
That said like, sorry, I was on mute, and like kind of Zoom humor kind of stuff.
Sure.
And,
how smart.
And I was doing that, and I also like I have a photo booth business. Yeah. Then I go out to parties, and like I was like, am I kind of a good business person? Like, and I would like kind of advertise that I would do side hustle coaching, and I was like, in order to get the reach that I need for that, I'll start a podcast where I interview people with side hustles. And so I called it Side Hustle Divas, which is a great anything with diva is the best. And I had that podcast, and then my family friend called me on the phone. He's my friend's dad / my mom's friend. Like, he's just kind of in my world, and he called me and he was like, this isn't your podcast. Like, this isn't, you're bored on the podcast. I can tell you don't care about people's businesses. Like, you're just not like, he gives me really good feedback, and it's harsh sometimes, or like, it's not harsh, but it's direct. Yeah. And
no sugarcoating.
No sugarcoating. And he's like, if I'm going to listen to your podcast, it has to be you telling funny stories, because that's the only reason I like you. Yeah. That's not what he said either.
No, but
that's how I take it. Is like, he was like, you got to he's like, you're not talking about yourself at all. And I'm not going to listen to your podcast if you don't talk about you. I don't care about your friend who has a ice cream business, you know, like. Yeah.
Or maybe, I mean, ice cream's very good.
Ice cream is very good, but like I took it off. I took some time off of the podcast, and I was like, what do I really like want the podcast to be? And I did all this journaling, and I was like, I want to talk about myself more, and I want to feature like more artistic people, like not business people necessarily, but like, I ended up getting to performers, and then I was doing performers. So I had poets and like TikTokers and like whatever. And then at one point I had on Kayla Berry. Do you know Kayla Berry?
Yeah.
And it was so good. I felt like it was so good. We were talking about comedy. We were talking about queerness, like whatever. And I was like, oh, I'm going to have queer comedians.
Hell yeah.
And since I've done that, it has turned into the brand.
That's amazing.
It has turned into, it's a niche, and sometimes you do have to niche like way down, then you can expand, but like be like, this is the podcast for queer comedians, and then like all of the queer comedians will be like interested.
Yeah.
And then what I love about it is that it lifts people up. So like when we do your episode, like that week, it's like a big promo week for you. Like it boosts your profile, it boosts my profile. It's a good collaborative thing. So like
100%.
That's where the community comes from, is like I made that list of like, if you've been on the podcast, like I'll put you on my website as like a must-see show, and like,
that's really,
who knows?
Yeah,
like
but that's so cool that
everybody
you do
wants some
that.
media, you know?
Yeah, but I think it's just so cool that you do that. Like, like you're very inspirational, and like I swear to God, you're really like listen, I have like projects I've been working on, like, but like you're really. Okay, all right, here's the thing. I feel like lately, like for like the last like year or so, like I've been very hesitant about pushing content.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Because I am not a TikTok person. Yeah. I don't have TikTok. Yeah. And like I remember when I used to do content, like it was just like goofy stuff, but I had a good time making it. Sketches, whatever you had. Yeah. And now I feel like from everything I've seen, it's not necessarily about the art of it all.
Okay.
And it's about going viral.
Okay.
And that's not what I want to do.
What do you want to do? Like, just make it for the fun of it?
Make it for the fun of it, but like people just enjoy it. Like I'm not trying to push something to go viral. Like if it goes viral, great. Right. But like I would like, you know what I mean? And like I feel like I put such like a meh on it that like I've been so like, oh, I don't know if I should. So like it's been like,
are you hesitant because is it anything to do with like perfectionism at all, or is it about your reputation, or like you don't want people to think things, or like what's going on?
I don't even think it's that. I think it's just been like
you don't like it. You don't like the content.
I just feel like a lot of content now, it's just very like, I don't know. I feel like this is very specific, but it's like
there's like one person you're thinking.
Well, like it's like I just feel like a lot of it's like it's not for like the people. Yeah. Like, does that make sense? Yeah. Like I don't know how else to like it's all self-indulgence, which I guess that is what it is. It's like, look at my art.
It's not there to be of value to a broader community.
I think so. Like,
but then I feel like that's where you get to be the innovator, because you are noticing, okay, all these people are focusing on content that's not really focused on connection. It's not really lifting people up. It's not really helping anybody. All they're doing is saying, okay, come to my show, download my music, like, come to my concert, help my friend. Yeah. Like, they say something that I try to keep to, that I don't, but like I try to keep to, is that like 9 out of 10 posts that you post should be providing value. Yeah. And only 1 out of 10 should be come to my show. Yeah. Like only 1 out of 10 on social media should be like, download my song, read my blog, check out this, buy a ticket to that. Yeah. I try to stick to that because I have a ton of friends outside of New York that are just never going to come to my show. Yeah. I mean, because they're out of town.
They're like, fuck you.
Yeah, like, yeah. But like, if I have a show there, they'll come. But like, they don't want to see over and over ticket. Totally. And then, you know, part of what I think about with content is like, I just enjoy it. Like, and as a comedian, part of what I'm trying to do is build out an online presence and like have it be both, where I'm a live performer and somebody who has a podcast and like all of that stuff. Yeah. I kind of think that's like the formula for me. Yeah. But not everybody. Like, that's not for everybody. So like.
Yeah. I was going to say, okay, there's this other thing that I was debating doing.
Another project?
I was just going to get into
it. Wait, maybe my new podcast is people pitch their projects.
Literally, you are the Shark Tank.
I'm the Shark Tank.
So I had this podcast before, but it was a little different. Yeah. It was called Sorry I Missed Your Call.
Oh, have I heard that?
You might have. You might have. And it was, I would call my friends back, like comedians usually. Yeah. And we'd just shoot the shit. Right. But on the podcast, there was a segment with my mother, Lessons with Linda.
That's good.
And she would just give advice to whoever like needed the advice, and it was always very funny. And all the reviews were always about more Linda. Yeah. So like I was debating like, do I bring this podcast back? Because this would also provide content, right? Like, do I bring this podcast back? Because, like, my mom really wants to start doing advice again.
She wants to do it?
She wants to do it so bad. Yeah. But the thing is, she doesn't want to be on camera. So what I did was I made her into a puppet. So it's me and a puppet.
But it's her voice.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Like, so we record it, but, like, I dub it with the puppet.
That is the most so niche thing.
Yeah, you
like,
think
that's
so?
No, not in a bad way.
Yeah.
No, I like a niche.
Yeah,
I'm a niche bitch.
Yeah, I love a niche. I love a niche and a niche bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's so good. And like, I don't know, do you want it to be a podcast, or can it just be content?
I think, well,
because podcasts are fucking hard.
Well, I will say, okay, even the microphones like scare the shit out of me with podcasts.
Yeah.
Like, I give you so much credit.
Yeah.
I fuck that up all the time.
Yeah.
I had like the first time I ever did a podcast, like I did not understand this. I thought I had to have the headphones
I know.
and like the shit.
Yeah.
And, like you
Right.
do it very well.
I got some skills.
Yeah, you sure do.
Yeah.
You sure do.
I got
so
people come over and they're just like, "Oh, you got like a
cute
doing a
setup.
studio." Like,
No,
yeah.
I'm obsessed. You are so inspirational. I know, like we barely like I said almost little to nothing on this podcast.
You
but
said a lot.
I'm just so obsessed with you.
Oh, well, thank you.
It's like you are. I can't believe
I
how
built
much
a
you
little
inspire-
world. It's like Elmo's world in
Yes, but I can't believe how motivational. Like
Yeah.
you know, just
You know what I am? I know. I accept that. Like I
You
am.
should. You
I
should.
I know that when people talk to me, it's funny. My friend Marno that I mentioned, who lives in LA, I sent her a brief clip of something, like a video. Oh, I sent her an audio. I had Kate Keller, is a musician actually, not a comedian at all. She's just a really great musician. She was on here and she did a performance, and I recorded it on my phone. She did it on the guitar.
Yeah.
And I recorded the audio on my phone because I was like, maybe I'll mix it together, like
Yeah.
whatever. And I sent it to my friend Marno because I was like, she is just so like, this is really fantastic music, and it was just a one take like
Yeah.
song. And she sent it to me. I sent it to her, and she said, I love how after that she said, "You're really easy to talk to," and you said, "Yeah, everybody says that." I was just like, I'm pretty good at like accepting a compliment, because I
Yeah.
feel like the reason that I like how you're self-aware is I feel that
Yeah.
I have that too.
You definitely.
And I understand my strengths, and I very much understand where I do not
yeah. I mean,
deliver, you know?
Sure.
But yeah, I don't know. I think you got to do these projects.
I'm gonna do them.
I think you need a Christmas album.
The Christmas. Let me tell you something right now.
Yeah, you're
that
gonna have a
Christmas
Christmas
album
album.
is coming out.
I know.
12 Uggs of
And you know what?
Christmas.
The 12 Uggs of Christmas is a really good name.
Thank you.
Like, I'm imagining visuals.
It'd be fun, right?
Yeah. I think the thing is that's funny about it is, like, if you just had $1 billion,
Sure.
you would do it.
Yeah.
Like, if you could just, like, if you had no job and, like,
Yeah.
just, like, kind of, like, all the time in the world and
Yeah.
all the funds and all
Yeah.
the access, 12 Uggs of Christmas would have been done in March.
Totally. But
You know
I'll
what
tell
I
you
mean?
what. Like when we're wrapping up here, I
Yeah.
tell you what. I am gonna sit down and write.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
I'm like I have been saying that idea for like 2 years.
No.
I've never done it.
Not
It's
two-
November right
it's
now,
November,
and
yeah.
I got a couple weeks.
You should
But-
release it on, like, December 15th or something.
Sure.
Like
My birthday,
like,
perhaps.
is that your birthday?
The
When's your
18th.
birthday? Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you so
I have a new
much.
joke that one was relevant, but
Sure.
anytime someone says their birthday, I say, "Oh, happy birthday," even if it's like
Even if it's not.
8 months away.
I love that. I do this thing too. Like if I'm introducing people on stage or whatever, I always give them a middle name, even the
That's
audience,
funny.
and it's always Marie.
Yeah, that's
So
so
no matter
good.
what, you know what I mean?
Yes, I know.
Ben
No,
Marie.
I think for your mom project, I
Yeah.
think that could be a podcast.
Sure.
And it could also be just videos, 2-minute videos on Instagram.
Yeah, that
with
might
the
be
puppet.
better. Yeah,
and
maybe
then it
that's
doesn't have to
better.
be, because the podcast, people like, you understand because you had a podcast, but it's not, even just to upload a podcast
Totally.
is more work than to upload to Instagram.
Absolutely right, but you know, I'll tell you the honest truth. The reason why I was like, it should be a podcast is because
Yeah.
I have a theme song that's so good,
Yeah.
and I'm like, can I just use this on a video? I don't think so.
What's the theme song?
Do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Get your
Hold
phone.
on. I'm so proud of it.
Yes, I'm really excited.
Right?
That has ever, so play it into the microphone.
Okay, here we go. Let me find it. Hold on. I'm very excited for you to hear it.
My new.
Okay, I think it's this one.
Okay,
Oh,
put it up to the
I
microphone.
hope it's this one.
Oh my God.
You've reached Steven Zakari. I'm
Yes.
away right now, but thanks for calling me. And when I call you back, we'll laugh and give and have a good ball. Could you leave me a message? Sorry I missed your call.
I'm imagining.
So good.
I'm imagining. That is really, really good.
Thank you.
I want the number of your friend who did that.
I sure will. I sure will. I love him. Very
And
talented guy.
I'm trying to think, because it could be a podcast,
Yeah.
and it really would be a good podcast. Well, it is a podcast.
Sure.
And I think it could be like, but I'm thinking like in 2024,
Yeah.
the podcast is a great format,
Yeah.
but we can disrupt
Okay.
and we can innovate, don't you
God.
think?
Okay,
And
tell
it
me
could
more.
be something that's like, I'm thinking it's maybe more of a YouTube channel.
Oh,
Or something
sure.
that's like videos with like not, and it's not a 1 hour. This is just me.
No, I'm open.
It's not necessarily a 1 hour podcast once a week.
Yeah.
It's like maybe twice a week there's a 10-minute video.
I literally was thinking 15 minutes max.
10-15 minutes.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was
thinking. Because there's even podcasts, when they do well, they break off and they make these 15-minute videos.
Yeah.
You could swap that and say, I'm doing 15-minute videos. If they get really popular, if they do really well, I'll lengthen the show, or I'll increase the number of videos that I do. I'll take it to MTV.
That would be cool.
And then because it's Steven Zakari and it's your show, the mom videos would be one of the videos.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, so you do a video because you're the star. Even if your mom is the star, you're the star. It's still Steven's mom.
Yeah.
As how I view it.
100%.
And so it's still your channel. You're in control. But yeah, I don't know. I think it could be something where you could really innovate and like create something that is multiple segments that is gets a lot of engagement.
I hear what you're screaming. So like, yeah,
my
mom is like one of those segments.
Yeah. And like, the more you can just fucking, this is what you're good at. The more that you can just do what you know is right, and like what you know deep down is going to be most authentic to you.
Yeah.
That's what you got. That's what everybody listening has to do on social media, is like absolute iconic, authentic shit that is something that only they could do.
Yeah.
And not everybody has that.
Yeah.
Not everybody has something that only they could do, but you do.
Mark my freaking words.
It's coming out.
Sorry I Missed Your Call is going to come back out 100%.
Yeah.
And I'm having a Christmas album.
Yeah.
I cannot believe how inspired I am right now. I needed this.
You're inspired?
I needed this so bad. Let me tell you something. Because, like, what I just said about the comedy clubs and how, like, the homophobia and, like, all of this stuff going on the last, like, couple months, I've been a little down in the dumps. Not too bad.
Yeah.
But, like, I've been, like, what am I doing with myself? And I really was trying to think, like, what can I do? I want to create content. I want to have fun again. And everything that you're saying,
boom,
it's just hitting where it's supposed to hit.
Wow,
right
who
now.
knew?
Yeah, this is so lovely.
This is lovely.
Let me tell you something. The next time I'm on this podcast, because I'm
you
coming back,
you will.
I'm gonna have so much more to promote. We're talking. I'm telling you, you are really inspiring me.
What
bitch.
do you have to promote? Where can people find you?
Oh God, I don't care. I'm just kidding. No,
people have to. You gotta, because there's content coming.
Come on,
where do they find it? We can't tease like that.
You're so right, darling. Okay, so on Instagram, I'm at Hey Steven Zakari.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. I mean,
Hey Steven Zakari.
Hey Steven Zakari. I have an OnlyFans special. That's kind of funny.
You are on OnlyFans?
Well,
we didn't talk about that.
We didn't.
Next time.
Next time.
Yeah.
It's OnlyFans started producing stand-up specials.
And you have a stand-up special. Or
yeah.
What are you doing on OnlyFans? Tell me, because I know that they did that.
Yeah.
Because
I was on
of
the
Whitney Cummings.
Yes, I was on the first season, so it came out like 2 years ago. But it's called LMAOF.
LMAOF. That's like your special.
Yeah. It's
Wait,
LMAOF.
You have a special?
Yeah.
So then people should watch your special.
I guess so.
Or you don't like it?
No, it's you know what it is? It's one of those times as a comedian. Okay. Like they're offering you this thing, and it's money.
Okay.
And if you're a comedian, we don't have any.
Yes, right.
So it's like, I want it. And it's like, I watch it, and it's funny.
Yeah, okay.
But I watch it, and I'm like, well, that joke could have marinated a little
Was it just
more.
not, like, practiced enough? Like,
I think so.
Like people
I think
film
so.
a special, they do it for 2 years or
yeah,
whatever.
but, like, listen, I had a lovely experience. The crew, everything. They
Where
were
did
so
you perform
lovely. In L.A. It was at they filmed it at the Ha-Ha.
Oh, okay, the Ha-Ha.
the old Ha-Ha.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it's out.
And how many minutes did you do?
30.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like OnlyFans wanted to do their own version of like Comedy Central Presents.
Yeah. Everybody wants to do their own version of something.
They should.
It's also interesting.
Yeah, very
it's
interesting.
just kind of like an interesting vertical for them.
Yeah. You got to get on one of them.
An OnlyFans. I would like to tell people that I'm on OnlyFans. Yeah.
You have to get an OnlyFans. It's very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. Anyway, I love you. I'm so happy you were on this show. You have to come back.
I will.
I know we just kind of gabbed, but
we sure did.
We gabbed.
we sure did. We sure gabbed. But seriously, thank you so much for inspiring me.
Oh wow.
I mean, like you really have like my gears are like going right now.
That's the thing. I will tell you. I need to start. Maybe we'll film this. I need to start doing like a post interview. And put it on social media, like, how do you feel? And then you could be like, I'm so inspired, like, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll film that. Fans, listeners, You can follow Life in Bold on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Life in Bold Pod. And I'm on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Laugh with Ben, your sexy host, Laugh with Ben. I hope you have an amazing day, an even better week, and do not forget to live your life in bold. Wait, say it with me.
Okay.
And do not forget to live
your life in bold.
That was so good.